Akron Athletics presents Zips Weekly with Joe Moorhead. Sponsored by Bryant Heating and Cooling and Akron Hilton Fairlawn. And now your host, Joe Dunn.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to a brand new edition of Zips Weekly with head football coach Joe Moorhead. Hope you're making plans to be at InfoCision Stadium Wednesday night. It's the biggest home game of the season. Kent State comes to town. The battle for the wagon wheel, 7:30 kickoff. Again, hope to see you there. A lot of blue and gold in the stands. Make it all Akron blue and gold as we bring in the head football coach Joe Moorhead. And Coach, looking back at the Bowling Green game, boy, stats can be so misleading. Look at the final numbers. Bowling Green only 18 more yards than we had total offense. We had more, I think, third down completions. We did a good job except on the turnovers, and that really hurt us, 4 turnovers.
Yeah, and a lot of those yards came on their last drive where they moved it down there when they were trying to run out the clock. But yeah, you hit the nail on the head. One-score game. Yeah. Coming out of halftime, we had the ball and we're driving down a very controversial non-pass interference penalty that led to 2. We were forced to punt and they drove down and the wheels kind of fell off after that. But yeah, you can't really win any football game when you turn it over 4 times and don't get any on defense. So, that was really the story of the game.
You talk about field position too, Coach. You talk about the defense being on the field most of the second half. I mean, Bowling Green started drives at the 29, the 9 to 36, and the 35 on Akron's side of the field. That's tough to defend.
Yeah, that happens when you turn it over. One drive, as you mentioned, inside the 5, one inside the 10, and a bunch inside the 50. They held strong a majority of the time, but, there's only so many, opportunities inside of, your opponent's territory that you're not going to come away with points.
Hey, let's go back up to Dwight Perry Stadium on the campus of Bowling Green State University to pick up highlights. The Zips win the toss. Coach, you like to go on defense to start the football game.
Yeah, we've been playing well defensively. Thought we would set the tone with our defense and obviously have the opportunity to get the ball in the second half.
Boy, defense again playing lights out as they have most of this season. Bowling Green trying to run the football and not being too successful early.
Yeah, they played 2 quarterbacks, and we knew with the Orth kid in there it was going to be more of a run-oriented philosophy. And I thought, coming out of the gate, we did a fairly good job, limiting runs and explosive plays. Their running back was as advertised. He broke a lot of tackles, but we did a good job early on.
Here's a play that could have gone for a touchdown, Coach. Just a shoestring tackle as Lingard ran that wheel route out of the backfield. That was wide open.
Yeah, we got to throw it with more air. I mean, he's behind him, and then Zoe got to pick his feet up there as he kind of feels that guy closing in.
Undercover filling out. I think that Daniel George had 7 catches in the game.
Yeah, 7 for 74. DG had a nice game.
Just behind 3-0, the defense forced Bowling Green into a 36-yard field goal. That's where we pick up action now. And just trying to get back in this football game, you're going to see them take the lead at 7-3. But right now, the defense continues to put pressure on the Falcons.
Yeah, great job by the front 6 containing the interior gaps, and then the secondary, conversion and doing a great job in run support.
Quarterback tries to run it right, and I think that was Nunnally was right there waiting for him.
He's had a great year so far.
Back on offense. Zips running the football with Lingard over that right side and going in for that touchdown. I think he's going to carry 3 straight times, but before that, just a great catch by Gaddings. He battled one-on-one to come up with a great catch.
Yeah, a couple big third down conversions, and Josiah makes an explosive play down the field in one-on-one coverage. Sets us up down in the red zone.
As a quarterback coach, sometimes you have a lot of confidence in your wide receiver. Will you throw it up there on a 50-50 ball and hope your receiver makes a play for you?
My term has always been 100-0 ball, that if you get a one-on-one matchup, you should have the confidence in the quarterback's accuracy and the receiver's ability to make the play that it's your ball, not anybody else's. But yeah, when we get those situations, we got to continue to improve, coming down with those balls.
From ground level, Lorenzo Lingard around that left side, pretty much untouched for the touchdown. Perez comes in for the extra point, and suddenly, on the road, the Zips are up 7-3.
Yeah, feeling pretty good at this point.
Again, watch this Akron defense really play well, clogging that up the middle. Good pursuit again.
Yeah, they ended up using both quarterbacks, Arth and Bazelak, and once again kept the ball on the inside and in front of us and didn't allow a bunch of explosive plays.
A couple are going to throw it. I think that was Anderson coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, Anderson and Lingard both had some catches, and Jeff was able to distribute the ball pretty equally to a bunch of our different guys and make some plays.
Tight end T.J. Banks making the catch. And again, they try and run wide on the Akron defense, and the Zips are there after a short game. Came up short on that first down.
Yeah, and there you mentioned field position too with our punt return team. They had a bunch of possessions that started inside the 50, and we had a bunch that started back inside of our 10. And the statistics show, based on where the drive starts, the percentages of scoring, and obviously the closer you are to the goal line, the better chance you have to score.
Yeah, late in the first half, the Zips are down 10-7, trying to get Bowling Green off the field. And now from ground level, let's watch it again. I think this was a fourth down play, Coach. They had to come out and measure that.
Yeah, they were short by about a length, and gave us the ball. This was not a planned fake. The snap brought him off his mark a little bit, and Dante did a good job pulling that thing down and getting around the corner.
That was not a set play. That was going to get blocked.
Yeah, it was going to be blocked. So good smart headsy football play by Dante.
Yeah, he takes off in a big play and a first down, and the Zips have the football with about a minute and a half to go.
I started moving it down the field a little bit, trying to get at least into field goal range, maybe score a touchdown. Unfortunately, we had a couple penalties and a sack and got behind the sticks, and then had that fumble at the end that led to 3 more points. Yeah,
the first half ends with Akron down 13-7. But again, Coach, at halftime you're in the football game.
Yeah, same as always. We were going to find a way to be competitive and look to get the thing into the fourth quarter. We've done that a majority of the season, and in the first half felt pretty good where we were defensively, and just needed to find a way to create more. More scoring possessions on offense.
Exactly. Hey, don't go away. We're going to take a break, come back, and watch second half highlights right after this on Zips Weekly.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes E.H. Roberts Heating and Cooling. Find them at ehroberts.com.
Come on over and check out what we're doing. Let's go!
Okay, welcome back to Zips Weekly with head football coach Joe Moorhead. We're watching highlights of last Saturday's loss up at Bowling Green. We're at halftime. The Zips down right now 13-7, and the story of the second half, Coach, especially in the third quarter, is going to be field position. We just couldn't get any field position to try and turn the field on them.
Yeah, field position and turnovers. I mean, that's really what it came down to.
Exactly. Let's go back to Deutpori Stadium. We're going to watch highlights right now, that second half, and it's going to be 21 points in this third quarter for Bowling Green, and boy, that's tough to overcome on the road, especially.
Yeah, it is. And we, first drive, we converted some third downs. We're moving right down in there into the red zone, and you talk about certain plays that turn the course of the game, and we went from being at the 20 or 25 and going in for a score to take the lead, to a penalty that got us out of range, and we had to punt. So, we got to be better overcoming adversity.
Good second effort there by Daniel George. Undercoupler thrown over the middle. And again, we're going to have more first downs than they did. Again, we had more third down conversions, but again, their turnovers were tough.
Yeah, the two biggest statistics that dictate the outcome of a football game is turnover margin and explosive play margin. And as we said on the outset, you can't be -4 in turnovers and expect to beat a team, particularly on the road in conference play.
There's Lingard over that right side, pretty good yardage, and the Zip defense back out on the field again, and good support there.
Yeah, we missed the call where they pass interfered on Bobby Golden, and then I got unsportsmanlike conduct. And you turn those clips in after the week, and the league came back and said they missed the call. So that's what it is. You're not going to complain about officiating, but that's the type of thing that can change the course of the game.
Oh, there's no doubt about it, Coach, especially on the sidelines watching that with a chance to get back into the game.
Yeah, that was my first unsportsmanlike in 26 years, and I lost my composure, and that can't and won't happen again. But at a certain point, you got to stick up for your team, and I proved that my anger was correct.
Undercoupler to Daniel George again. Undercoupler going to throw over the middle, and going to be up about the 30-yard line. Again, he's back to throw, and under pressure, throwing on the run, Coach. That's something that maybe he's a pure drop back passer. On the run, can he throw the football?
A little bit when he gets out there, and Adrian Norton, as you saw, had two really nice catches on in the fourth quarter, and a guy that's really got a bright future for us, local Ohio kid.
Yeah, I thought Adrian Norton was one of the better wide receivers in high school football in
Yeah.
Ohio last year, and glad to have him. He's got a bright future as head coach.
Yeah, he's one of the one freshman we're not going to redshirt. Continue to utilize him this year, but his upside is tremendous. Jaron Griffin on the tackle there. We've talked about him as a young guy that's going to make a lot of plays for us.
Throwing again, another good catch.
Yeah, driving down the field, obviously game out of reach, but still, time on the clock, and you're, working to try to get back in it and get some guys some reps and gain some confidence, which obviously we need offensively. So it was good to, even though the game was, like I said, out of reach, we were able to take the ball in our last possession and drive down the field and score a touchdown.
And the Falcons gang tackling was an Akron first down again.
Yeah, Caleb Anderson with a couple of catches there. Jake Newell with a catch, and I think we're going to see Adrian Norton with another one here up top.
Yeah, Jake Newell's an interesting guy, the transfer, I think, from Arizona State. Big kid at about 6'4", 240.
Yeah, my youngest son and Jake, they played in the same 7-on-7 organization up in the Eugene area in Oregon, so we knew Jake pretty well. And, when we saw his name pop in the portal, we were able to contact him and get him here to Akron.
Zips driving for their second touchdown. This is going to be Anderson. He's going to turn the corner, just get into the end zone. Back of the pylon, Coach.
Yeah, not a ton of positives on offense, overall, but like I said, able to finish the game strong and, put one in the end zone and, gain a little bit of confidence and momentum heading into Wagon Wheel Week.
Yeah, one more look at that one. Unfortunately, we lose both our starting running backs, so going to look for some replacements next year.
Yeah, Charles Combs done a great job on special teams and in a reserve role, and got a good young local kid committed to us out of high school, and then, we'll see what happens with the portal as that window opens up on December 4th.
Coming down to the final seconds on Saturday's tough loss up at Bowling Green, and there's the handshake with the coaches. Coach Leffler, a young guy out of nearby Barberton, and Coach, that's a tough one on the road because we were pretty much in that all the way through that first half.
Yeah, it's not necessarily indicative of our competitiveness throughout the course of the last 18 games and got away from us, but. Same thing. Last year it was a little bit different. The offense was scoring, bunch of points, and the defense was having a problem really keeping people out of the end zone. And every year is a little bit different. And this year the offense is, struggling to find consistency in production, and the defense is playing better. So we got to find a way to put all of it together.
We're going to take a break. As always, when you come back in this next segment, we're going to talk to the coach about some of the top individual efforts. So don't go away. We're back right after this timeout.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
Here, let me show you how this works.
it takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes E.H. Roberts Heating and Cooling. Find them at ehroberts.com.
Come on over and check out what we're doing. Let's go!
Okay, welcome back to Zips Weekly. One of my favorite segments each week. The coach kind of talks about some of the top performances, gives us a preview of some of the upcoming players. And let's start with Akron's two running backs. Running back Lorenzo Lingard, the touchdown, ran for 56 yards, and Drake Anderson also had a touchdown. But those two guys came into the season with a lot of anticipation and performed well up at Bowling Green.
Yeah, I think they're getting better as the season progresses. We're giving them more opportunities and more touches, and as we continue to try to, it's going into the later part of the season, but obviously the offensive line has been a work in progress with injuries and different combinations and things like that. So, we went with some more 6-for-6 run schemes against Bowling Green, and we're able to, hand the ball off more to the running backs between the tackles, and I thought they did a nice job.
You've mentioned a couple times this year, Coach, about running back Charles Kellum out of Cincinnati. I think he's eligibility-wise, still a freshman.
Yeah, redshirt freshman this year. Has done a real nice job in practice and scrimmages. Is kind of making a name for himself on special teams and getting his feet wet and getting some college football experience. But, he's a guy, as we continue to, go through the rest of the season, and we want to see him in some games.
Sounds good. How about the wide receivers? We talked about Daniel George. 7 catches for 74 yards. A strong group of young wide receivers. And I remember talking to Daniel George before the season. He's kind of mentoring that group. He's a good guy out of Penn State and doing a good job.
Team captain, very smart, already has his degree and has done a nice job with his leadership. Josiah, big shoes to fill, to replace Shockey.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we haven't been able to get Alex the same amount of production as last year. I mean, he's really been hobbled with a knee, kind of playing at probably 75-80% the whole year. Then Bobby Golden, Miles Walker, Adrian Norton, as we mentioned, Caleb Anderson, and then we got Paul Davis and Gene Louis, 2 guys that are redshirt right now that are going to be really good players.
The type of offense you run, Coach, is it easier to recruit those wide receivers knowing they're going to be in an offense they can do a lot of good things?
Yeah, obviously it's not showing, this year in terms of pass game, but last year we averaged almost 300 a game. And, over the course of the history of this scheme, we've thrown the ball around pretty well and have had a bunch of guys go to the NFL. So kids see that, once again, outside of this year, which is a little bit of an outlier, that this has always been an offense that's put up good numbers for the receiver position.
We talked a little bit about Jake Newell, the transfer tight end. You also got a young guy sitting out, a young tight end from Cincinnati, Connor Kravick. Maybe give us a little preview on what we can expect from him.
Yeah, Connor started out fall camp really strong. Unfortunately, had an upper body injury during a one-on-one period that needed surgery. So we're just getting him back now into some non-contact drills in practice. But tall guy that can run. If you remember, kind of Mike Gesicki from Penn State, kind of in that mold, kind of basketball player guy, tall, long, very athletic. So we're excited about him. We thought he may have played a role this year had he stayed healthy, but we saved a year of eligibility, and look forward to next season with Connor.
So you got good depth with Newell and Kravick then going into the spring.
Newell and Kravick, and then we're gonna see what we have with the not going to use any more I'm sorry, we're going to use 1 more high school spot, and then we're going to use 2 more for portals.
Sounds good. Talk about the defense on Saturday. As we said, the defense was put in a spot all game long, a tough field position, but you had 7 different Zips make tackles on Saturday. Coach C.J. Nunley, 2 tackles for a loss. Brian McCoy, 9 tackles. We've talked about him all season long.
Yeah, I think what you see between kind of Teray and Lama, C.J. and then Brian, kind of the recruiting philosophy that we embrace here, that you're not going to abandon high school recruiting because, Brian McCoy, a guy that we signed basically in 1 month, who's turned into one of the top inside linebackers in the league. Guys like Lama and Teray who are portal transfers that you're able to utilize and see a high level of production. And then, junior college guys like CJ and LaJoshua, so all that as we work. And we really had 1 full recruiting class. You don't necessarily count the first year, but as we're working to build depth and increase our talent and our athleticism, those are the kind of guys we need to bring in here.
You've mentioned a couple times, Coach, a young linebacker out of Mississippi, Jaharian Griffin. He had 3 solo tackles up at Bowling Green.
Yeah, super smart kid, very productive, coming out of high school. A lot of the high school coaches I know down there, really raved about him, and he played in what's called the Mississippi-Alabama game, which is the premier high school all-star game down there. And the head coach is a guy at West Point who said, "Hey, man, you got to take a look at this kid." And he's really a mechanical engineering major, super smart kid. Plays on special teams, but he's a guy that really, may not wow you with his height or his speed or athleticism, but you put him in a game and he's always around the football.
All right. Coach, thanks again for the look at last week and some of the top performances. We're going to take a break. As we said, coming up Wednesday night, the biggest home game of the season, Akron, Kent State, the wagon wheel up for grabs. We'll be back to talk about that game right after this.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
Here, let me show you how this works.
it takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes E.H. Roberts Heating and Cooling. Find them at ehroberts.com.
Come on over and check out what we're doing. Let's go!
Well, it's Akron against Kent State. Wednesday night, InfoCision Stadium. Kickoff 7:30. Enough said. It's going to be a heck of a game. Always emotional, and unfortunately, the Zips have not beaten Kent State since 2018. And Coach, I know you, the coaching staff, the players, alumni, everybody looking forward to that football game Wednesday night.
Yeah, the great ingredients of any rivalry game, proximity and passion, right? Two schools very close to each other, both fan bases with a lot of pride in their school, have been involved in a lot of great ones, Egg Bowl, Oregon State, Penn State, Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State, Fordham, Holy Cross, and this one,
yeah.
I mean, and as you mentioned, I asked our team in the meeting the other day how many guys had won the wagon wheel, and no hands went up aside from me, Coach Free, and Coach Sobel. And unfortunately, Coach Sobel was for the wrong side.
Exactly. Kent State right now with a record of 1-7, coming off a loss to Buffalo, 24-6. Quarterback, in fact, a couple of their better players are transfers. A quarterback a transfer from Purdue. He's a big kid, 6'4", about 225.
Yeah, Michael Lamo, knew him coming out of high school. We recruited him a little bit. And they've really been playing two guys kind of in and out, did a little bit of wildcat against Eastern Michigan, but we're preparing to see both guys.
Of course, their top running back, Jalen Thomas, is a transfer from Colorado State. And take a look at their stats, Coach. Offensively, they're averaging about 143 yards, passing 117 yards, running the football, kind of balanced a little bit.
Yeah, they're still running the up-tempo scheme
Yeah.
that they did under Coach Lewis, and you're seeing a lot of tempo, a lot of RPOs, trying to find one-on-one matchups to take shots down the field, and then, spread you out a little bit to lighten the box and hit you inside. So, they've moved the ball in spurts, just haven't had a ton of consistency.
Of course, their head coach is Kenny Burns in his first year at Kent State, and he's trying to rebuild that program. They were good for a long time, now trying to rebuild what they had.
Yeah, he's as we've seen, it's building a program is difficult, and I know he's a good coach, and came from Minnesota and has a great pedigree and track record as an assistant coach, and you've sseen them be competitive in just about every game, and listen, you throw the records out, when you're playing for the wagon wheel and it's a rivalry game, it doesn't matter, 8-0, 0-8, there's one goal, and that's to get the wheel back.
Both teams, Akron and Kent State, have had about 10 days to get ready for this game coming up Wednesday night. And Coach, we talked about before the program trying to get healthy. You got 10 days maybe to get guys back, and that's always important.
Yeah, we played the game Saturday. We were off on Sunday. Had a traditional Sunday practice the next day. Gave the kids one more day off. Yesterday and today are Kent bonus practices, so it's split between working against Kent scouts and then getting some developmental work, because we don't really get a true bye week. We get about a half a bye week. And in a normal bye week, you want to get a bunch of developmental stuff, and then walk through Friday, and then Saturday becomes the start of a traditional week.
Exactly. Coach, the big question maybe a lot of people have, with so many transfers on the team, do they understand the importance and how big this Akron-Kent State rivalry is, and how do you kind of ingrain that in these players before Wednesday night?
Yeah, I mean, every game's important, but this one has, a little bit more to it.
Yeah.
And to us, any spring practice or any fall camp practice or any practice during the season, we have a wagon wheel period. Every practice that's specifically devoted to Kent State, regardless of, whether we're playing, spring ball, fall camp, in season. And to me, that's the best way to stress the importance of, winning this football game.
Exactly. Well, if you've waited all season to attend a home football game, you're an Akron fan, this is the game we want to see you at Wednesday night. 7:30, the Zips against Kent State, trying to get that wagon wheel back over here in Akron. For the coach, my name's Joe Den. We'll see you back here next week, and always remember, go Zips.
Thanks for watching Zips Weekly with Joe Moorhead. Sponsored by Bryant Heating and Cooling and Akron Hilton Fairlawn. We'll see you next week. And as always, go Zips.
This has been a presentation from Learfield IMG College.